Did you know that juice cleanses are often presented as one of the fastest and cleanest ways to detox your body, reset your metabolism, and reclaim your health? Yet for many people, they quietly do the opposite. They're marketed as natural, gentle, and scientifically sound, wrapped in images of fresh fruits, glowing skin, and effortless weight loss. The promise is simple: drink juice for a few days, flush out toxins, and emerge lighter, healthier, and renewed. But beneath this appealing narrative lies a fundamental misunderstanding of how the human body actually works. Juice cleanses didn't fail because people weren't disciplined enough or didn't follow them correctly. They failed because the biology behind detoxification, metabolism, and long-term health is far more complex than liquid calories in a bottle. If juice cleanses truly worked the way they're advertised, they would strengthen your body's detox systems, stabilize energy levels, and improve metabolic health. Instead, when done the way most people are encouraged to do them, they often trigger blood sugar instability, fatigue, intense cravings, and rapid rebound weight gain. Even more concerning, they can interfere with the various systems responsible for long-term healing and disease prevention. The real risk isn't that juice cleanses don't deliver dramatic results. It's that they create the illusion of progress while quietly undermining the body's natural ability to repair itself. Believing you're detoxing while actually adding stress to your metabolism is a problem few people recognize until months or years later. To understand why juice cleanses failed, we first need to step back and look at what detoxification really is. Detox is not an event. It's not something you turn on for 3 days and then turn off once you feel lighter. Detoxification is a continuous, highly regulated biological process that happens every minute of your life. Your liver neutralizes toxins through complex enzyme systems. Your kidneys filter waste from the blood. Your intestines bind and eliminate harmful compounds. And your lungs and skin assist in removing byproducts of metabolism. These systems don't need flushing, they need support. They rely on adequate energy, stable blood sugar, amino acids from protein, essential minerals, and a healthy digestive environment to function properly. Juice cleanses are built on the idea that solid food is somehow toxic and that temporarily removing it allows the body to rest and cleanse itself. But the body doesn't interpret a lack of solid food as healing by default. It interprets it as a change in available resources. When that change comes in the form of frequent liquid sugar without fiber, protein, or fat, the body adapts in ways that are very different from what most people expect. Detoxification pathways don't speed up just because digestion slows down. In fact, many detox enzymes require protein and micronutrients that are often lacking during juice-only periods. Part of the confusion around juice cleanses comes from how they feel at first. Many people report feeling lighter, less bloated, and even mentally clearer in the first few days. Clothes fit looser, the scale drops quickly, and there's a sense that something positive is happening. But these sensations are not reliable indicators of detoxification or metabolic healing. When you remove solid food, the volume of material in the digestive tract decreases. Glycogen stores in the muscles and liver are depleted, and with them, a significant amount of water weight. Inflammation caused by processed foods, alcohol, and late-night eating temporarily subsides. All of this can make the body feel lighter and calmer, even though no meaningful repair has occurred at the cellular level. This is where juice cleanses become especially misleading. The improvement people feel is often the result of what they stopped consuming, not what they started drinking. Removing ultra-processed foods, refined oils, and excess sodium can quickly reduce bloating and discomfort. But instead of addressing the root causes of metabolic imbalance, juice cleanses replace one extreme with another. Once the cleanse ends and normal eating resumes, the body often responds with fatigue, intense hunger, and rapid weight regain because the underlying systems responsible for energy regulation were never strengthened. Another critical issue lies in how juice affects blood sugar. Even juices made entirely from fruits and vegetables contain concentrated natural sugars. When whole fruits are eaten, fiber slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, creating a gradual rise in blood glucose. Juice removes most of that fiber, allowing sugar to enter the bloodstream rapidly. This leads to sharp spikes in blood sugar, followed by crashes that can leave you feeling weak, irritable, and hungry. The body responds to these spikes by releasing insulin, a hormone that helps move glucose out of the blood and into cells. Repeating this cycle several times a day keeps insulin elevated, which interferes with fat burning and places stress on metabolic systems. Rather than allowing the body to shift into repair mode, frequent sugar intake keeps it locked in a constant state of energy management. The body's priority becomes stabilizing blood glucose, not repairing damaged cells or optimizing detox pathways. This is one of the main reasons juice cleanses fail to deliver lasting results. They look light and clean on the surface, but internally, they create metabolic noise that drowns out the signals needed for deep healing. There's also a psychological component to consider. Juice cleanses frame health as something that can be fixed quickly, encouraging an all-or-nothing mindset. You're either cleansing or you're not. This mindset disconnects people from the daily habits that actually determine long-term health. Real detoxification doesn't come from short bursts of restriction. It comes from consistent support of the organs and systems that do the work every day. When health becomes associated with temporary extremes, people are more likely to cycle between restriction and overconsumption, never fully stabilizing their metabolism. The idea that the body needs to be reset through liquid fasting also ignores an essential truth. The body is always adapting. When it senses a lack of nutrients, especially protein and essential fats, it doesn't assume healing is underway. It assumes scarcity. In response, it may reduce energy expenditure, increase hunger hormones, and conserve resources. These adaptations are protective in the short term but counterproductive for long-term health. Instead of becoming more efficient, at detoxification, the body becomes more focused on survival. Juice cleanses also oversimplify the role of digestion. Digestion is not a burden the body needs to escape from. It's a critical process that supports immune function, hormone regulation, and nutrient absorption. The act of chewing, for example, stimulates digestive enzymes and signals, satiety hormones. Removing this process entirely for extended periods can disrupt normal digestive rhythms. When solid food is reintroduced, the digestive system may struggle, leading to bloating, discomfort, and further reinforcing the false belief that solid food is the problem. At the heart of the issue is a misunderstanding of what health optimization actually requires. The body doesn't need to be emptied to heal. It needs to be nourished in a way that aligns with its biology. Detoxification pathways require steady energy, not constant sugar spikes. Metabolic health depends on preserving lean tissue, not breaking it down. Long-term vitality comes from stability, not oscillation between extremes. Juice cleanses failed because they promised a shortcut where none exists. They took a complex biological process and reduced it to a simplistic ritual, appealing to the desire for quick results and visible change. While they may temporarily remove some sources of dietary stress, they replace them with metabolic stress of a different kind. The result is a cycle of short-term relief, followed by long-term disappointment, confusion, and frustration. Understanding this doesn't mean the desire to feel lighter, healthier, or more energized is wrong. It means the method chosen doesn't match the goal. True detoxification is subtle, cumulative, and deeply tied to how the body is supported day after day. When you look past the marketing and into the biology, it becomes clear that juice cleanses didn't fail because the body is broken. It failed because the body is far more intelligent and resilient than the cleanse model assumes. The deeper you examine juice cleanses, the clearer it becomes that their failure isn't just about sugar or calories, but about how they disrupt the body's internal priorities. One of the most overlooked consequences of juice-only regimens is what happens to muscle tissue. Muscle is not just for movement or appearance. It is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the body. It plays a critical role in regulating blood sugar, supporting hormone balance, and maintaining a healthy metabolic rate. When protein intake drops too low, as it does during most juice cleanses, the body is forced to make a difficult choice. It must either slow down vital processes or break down existing tissue to meet its basic needs. In many cases, it does both. Protein provides amino acids that are essential for repairing cells, producing enzymes, and maintaining lean mass. Without a steady supply of these building blocks, the body begins to recycle its own muscle tissue. This process doesn't happen overnight in a dramatic way, but it does begin surprisingly quickly. As muscle mass decreases, resting metabolic rate drops. That means the body burns fewer calories at rest, making it easier to gain fat once normal eating resumes. This is one of the reasons so many people regain weight rapidly after a cleanse, often ending up worse off than before they started. From the body's perspective, a juice cleanse signals uncertainty. Calories may be coming in, but they arrive in a form that lacks balance and structure. There is energy, but not enough protein to support maintenance and repair. In response, the body shifts into a conservation mode. Hormones that promote hunger increase, while those that support satiety and metabolic flexibility decline. Instead of becoming more efficient and resilient, the metabolism becomes cautious and reactive. This is not a failure of willpower. It is a predictable biological response to perceived scarcity. Another major reason juice cleanses fail lies in their impact on the digestive system, particularly the gut microbiome. The gut is home to trillions of microorganisms that play a central role in digestion, immune defense, inflammation control, and even mood regulation. These bacteria thrive on diversity in fiber, especially the types of fiber found in whole plant foods. Juicing removes most of this fiber, depriving beneficial bacteria of their primary fuel source. Over time, this can shift the balance of the microbiome in an unfavorable direction. Without adequate fiber, the gut loses one of its main regulatory tools. Fiber helps slow digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and bind waste products for elimination. It also stimulates the production of short-chain fatty acids, compounds that support gut lining integrity and reduce inflammation. When fiber intake drops sharply, these protective mechanisms weaken. The result can be increased gut permeability, reduced immune resilience, and impaired communication between the gut and other organs. Instead of enhancing detoxification, a compromised gut makes it harder for the body to safely eliminate toxins. Digestive enzymes are also affected by periods without solid food. Chewing and digesting whole foods stimulate enzyme production and maintain the rhythm of the digestive system. When this stimulation disappears, enzyme output can decline. This can make the transition back to normal eating uncomfortable, reinforcing the belief that solid food is harmful. In reality, the discomfort often reflects a digestive system that has been temporarily deconditioned, not one that has been cleansed. There is also the issue of micronutrient balance. While juice can contain vitamins and antioxidants, they are rarely nutritionally complete. Minerals such as zinc, iron, magnesium, and selenium are essential for enzyme function and detox pathways. Yet they are often present in insufficient amounts in juice-only diet. Fat-soluble vitamins require dietary fat for absorption, which is usually absent in cleanses. Without these nutrients, detoxification enzymes cannot function optimally. The body may be flooded with antioxidants on paper, but lack the cooking needed to actually use them. One of the most misunderstood claims about juice cleanses is their supposed ability to activate deep cellular repair processes. These processes, often grouped under the concept of cellular renewal, are tightly regulated by energy availability and hormonal signals. They are most active when insulin levels are low and the body shifts away from growth and storage toward maintenance and repair. This typically happens during true fasting or well-structured periods of low energy intake, not during frequent consumption of sugar-rich liquids. Juice cleanses keep insulin levels elevated enough to block this shift. Even small amounts of sugar consumed repeatedly throughout the day send a consistent signal that energy is available and should be managed, not conserved or recycled. This creates a metabolic middle ground that is neither fully fed nor truly fasting. In this state, the body struggles to commit to either growth or repair. Cellular cleanup processes remain suppressed, while energy availability is still insufficient to fully support performance and recovery. The result is fatigue without renewal. Hydration is another area where juice cleanses create confusion. Juices are often promoted as superior forms of hydration, yet they can actually disrupt fluid balance. The kidneys regulate hydration based on electrolyte balance, not just fluid intake. Large amounts of liquid without adequate sodium and other electrolytes can dilute blood chemistry, leading to headaches, dizziness, and weakness. Proper hydration supports detoxification, but it must be paired with mineral balance to be effective. Beyond the physical effects, juice cleanses also reshape how people think about food and health. They reinforce the idea that food is something to be escaped from rather than something to be used strategically. This mindset undermines long-term consistency. Health becomes associated with restriction and punishment rather than nourishment and stability. Over time, this can erode trust in the body's signals, making it harder to maintain a healthy relationship with eating. What makes juice cleanses particularly problematic is that they borrow language from legitimate health practices without delivering the same benefits. Terms like detox, reset, and cleanse are appealing because they suggest renewal and control. But real renewal comes from aligning daily habits with biological reality. The body doesn't respond to symbolic acts. It responds to consistent signals of safety, adequacy, and balance. When you step back and look at the full picture, juice cleanses fail not because they include fruits and vegetables, but because they remove the context that makes those foods beneficial. Whole foods work synergy. Fiber moderates sugar absorption, protein supports repair, fats enable nutrient uptake, and minerals activate enzymes. Strip away these elements, and even the healthiest ingredients lose their effectiveness. The irony is that many people turn to juice cleanses because they genuinely want to support their health. They want to feel lighter, clearer, and more in control of their bodies. The failure lies in the method, not the intention. By misunderstanding how metabolism, digestion, and cellular repair actually function, juice cleanses end up working against the body rather than with it. Real health improvement rarely comes from dramatic interventions. It comes from practices that the body can adapt to and sustain. When the body feels supported rather than stressed, detoxification systems operate quietly and efficiently in the background. Energy stabilizes, appetite regulates itself, and repair processes unfold naturally. Juice cleanses promise this outcome, but their structure prevents it from happening. As these patterns repeat, the conclusion becomes unavoidable. Juice cleanses are not neutral experiments that sometimes work and sometimes don't. They are fundamentally misaligned with human misalignment. They disrupt blood sugar, reduce lean mass, weaken gut health, and suppress deep repair mechanisms. Any short-term benefits are incidental, while the long-term costs are often hidden. Understanding this opens the door to approaches that respect the body's intelligence instead of trying to override it. Once you understand why juice cleanses disrupt metabolism, muscle preservation, and gut health, the next step is to ask what actually supports the body's natural detoxification and repair systems. The failure of juice cleanses doesn't mean the body needs more intervention. It means it needs fewer extremes and better signals. The organs responsible for detoxification already know what to do. They simply require the right conditions to work efficiently. When those conditions are present, detoxification happens quietly and continuously, without dramatic symptoms or visible cleansing sensations. One of the most important principles is metabolic stability. The body repairs itself best when blood sugar remains relatively steady and insulin levels are allowed to rise and fall naturally. This doesn't require long or aggressive fasting. In fact, for most people, a simple overnight break from food is enough to give the digestive system time to rest and allow repair processes to increase. When meals are spaced in a consistent rhythm and unnecessary snacking is reduced, the body transitions more smoothly between feeding and repair. This gentle structure creates a far more supportive environment for detoxification than flooding the system with liquid sugar. Equally important is preserving lean tissue. Muscle is a key regulator of metabolic health, and maintaining it should be a priority in any health strategy. Adequate protein intake signals safety and abundance to the body, allowing it to invest in repair rather than conservation. When protein is consistently present, the body does not need to break down its own tissues to meet basic needs. Enzymes, hormones, and immune molecules can be produced efficiently, supporting every detox pathway. This is why sustainable health strategies always include sufficient protein rather than removing it entirely. Whole foods also play a central role. Unlike juices, whole foods provide a matrix of nutrients that work together. Fiber slows digestion and stabilizes blood sugar. Healthy fats support hormone production and help absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Minerals act as cofactors for detox enzymes, allowing the liver and kidneys to function properly. When these elements are combined in a balanced meal, the body receives a clear signal that resources are available and that it is safe to engage in maintenance and repair. This is the opposite signal, sent by restrictive, CLEAN-SES. Gut health is another foundational factor. A diverse fiber-rich diet feeds beneficial bacteria that support immune function and reduce inflammation. These bacteria help process waste products and prevent toxins from being reabsorbed into the bloodstream. When the gut barrier is strong, detoxification becomes more efficient and less stressful. Supporting the gut does not require eliminating solid food. It requires choosing foods that the gut has evolved to work with, eaten in amounts that do not overwhelm digestion. Hydration should also be viewed differently. Proper hydration supports kidney function and waste elimination, but it depends on electrolyte balance as much as fluid intake. Clean water consumed consistently throughout the day, paired with mineral-rich foods, allows the kidneys to filter blood effectively. This kind of hydration supports detoxification without creating the dilution stress that can occur when large volumes of liquid are consumed without adequate minerals. Another overlooked factor is consistency. The body adapts to repeated signals, not isolated events. A 3-day cleanse cannot override months or years of metabolic habits. But small daily practices, repeated over time, can reshape how the body allocates energy and resources. Eating regular meals, stopping before extreme fullness, and maintaining a predictable rhythm allow the body to operate efficiently. These habits don't feel dramatic, which is why they are often undervalued, but they are precisely what the body responds to best. Stress management also plays a crucial role. Psychological stress directly affects detoxification by altering hormone levels and increasing inflammation. When stress hormones are chronically elevated, the body prioritizes immediate survival over long-term repair. Juice cleanses often add stress rather than reduce it, especially when they lead to hunger, fatigue, and irritability. A calmer approach that supports mental and emotional stability indirectly enhances detoxification by allowing the nervous system to shift out of constant alert mode. Let sleep deserve special attention as well. Many detox processors are more active during deep sleep when growth hormone release and cellular repair peak. No cleanse can compensate for inadequate sleep. In fact, poor sleep undermines detoxification regardless of diet. Supporting sleep through regular meal timing, reduced evening stimulation, and adequate nourishment does far more for long-term health than temporary dietary restriction. When all of these factors are considered together, a clear pattern emerges. The body does not need to be shocked into healing. It needs to be supported into balance. Detoxification is not something you force. It's something you allow by removing obstacles and providing the right inputs. Juice cleanses focus on removal. Without support, they take away structure, protein, fiber, and stability, then expect the body to perform better under those conditions. The body responds by protecting itself, not by repairing itself. This understanding reframes the entire idea of cleansing. Instead of asking how to flush the body, the better question is how to reduce the load placed on detox systems while strengthening their capacity. Reducing processed foods, excess sugar, and alcohol lowers the burden on the liver. Eating whole foods provides the tools detox enzymes need to function. Maintaining muscle mass improves metabolic efficiency, making waste processing easier. Supporting gut health prevents toxins from entering circulation in the first place. These changes are subtle, but their effects compound over time. It also reframes what progress should look like. True improvement in health is often quiet. Energy becomes more stable rather than spiking. Appetite becomes more predictable rather than chaotic. Digestion becomes comfortable rather than dramatic. These changes don't create the instant gratification promised by cleanses, but they reflect real adaptation. When the body is functioning well, there is no need for constant resets because balance is maintained naturally. Perhaps the most important shift is psychological. Letting go of the idea that health requires suffering or restriction allows for a more sustainable relationship with food and the body. Food becomes a tool for support rather than a threat to be managed. This mindset reduces stress and improves adherence, making healthy habits easier to maintain. Over time, this consistency does more to protect against disease and metabolic decline than any short-term intervention ever could. Juice cleanses failed because they misunderstood the problem they were trying to solve. The body is not clogged or dirty. It is adaptive, responsive, and self-regulating. When given stable conditions, it cleans and repairs itself with remarkable efficiency. When those conditions are removed, it shifts into protection mode. No amount of juice can override that basic reality. The real lesson is not that juice is harmful or that fruits and vegetables are the enemy. It's that health cannot be reduced to a single tactic. Context matters. Timing matters. Balance matters. When these elements are respected, the body's natural detoxification systems operate exactly as intended. When they are ignored, even the most well-intentioned strategies fall short. Understanding this allows you to move beyond the cycle of disappointment and confusion that juice cleanses often create. Instead of chasing the feeling of being cleansed, you can focus on building a foundation that doesn't require constant correction. In that context, detoxification stops being a goal and becomes a byproduct of living in alignment with your biology. That is why juice cleanses failed, and why a quieter, more stable approach succeeds where extremes never will.